Hey guys, it's Auntie Jen.
It's your boy Seneca Riley up in here.
And we're back. We're finally going to finish the episode, Bottom of the Barrel Woman, that we where we left off last time. Just a quick recap. I was pissed off about a woman who stated that it's if a woman dates a man that makes $50,000, she is a bottom of the barrel woman. We never did find the name of the lady. It's a fake, dating guru, and she's in Atlanta. But we're gonna play a quick snippet of this for you guys. You want to do that? Yeah.
There we go. Less than $50,000 should not date. Just what the video.
So if you're making $50,000, don't date. I'm just being for real. You're not ready to date.
Again, I'm with you.
You're not ready to date because courtship costs.
Okay.
Everything costs. Okay. You can go for 22 walks in the park. Eventually, Shorty is gonna need a sip of something. She's gonna be thirsty. This bottle of water is $3 in Atlanta. Let's not play. So if you don't have any expendable cash, don't date. And whatever that looks like for you, you might only make $50,000, but you live in a shoe, and now you got expendable cash. Or get you a bottom of the barrel bitch that's gonna date you when you have no money. If she doesn't have that expectation, and I'm going to tell you this right now, enjoy it while it lasts, because eventually you're going to want to run. Because she doesn't stretch you. She doesn't make you.
No, that's, in my opinion, that's enough right there for me. Because it's like, bottom of a barrel female, get it $50K? Like, where are you getting these numbers from? You know, we gave you guys the statistics based on what people make yearly across the board in America. Now, we understand that some places, the cost of living is different. In Atlanta, the cost of living would be different. It's cheaper out there versus my brother couldn't afford a home that I can afford here in Oregon. So it's just the cost of living is different. She got her facts wrong. Now, and I'm not going to even go over how she looks because,
Because she looked like she would eat about, 50,000.
Yeah, well, her thing is she's one of those girls that they put up that list of places that they don't want to go eat.
Yeah.
And they feel like it's a disrespect to them, like Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah. Like
are you kidding me right now?
Well,
you look like you can eat a whole Cheesecake Factory. Excuse my language, but damn.
Well, and hey, just to throw in a disclaimer, we do not have a problem with big girls, neither of us.
I love me a thickie.
Yeah.
But here's the deal: it's just like it's unrealistic.
Girl.
Yeah, it's unrealistic expectations. You know what I mean? And I don't know where this comes from.
Well, and her justification piece is wherein Seneca turned it off because even as a man, he was tired of hearing that. Like where she was going with it was very unhealthy. Like, first of all, I'm just going to say one thing, just strictly opinionated, and for the fellas, if you meet a woman who can't make a life with you at a $50,000 a year, then you don't have a good woman, because I have made it, a good woman will make that money stretch. She'll make some things happen with that. Whatever you bring into the house, she's going to multiply it. That's just my opinion. That's how I feel about it. I think that I personally was single with 3 kids and made less than $50,000 and made a pretty decent life for us. So.
And I want to make a couple of points too. Look, if that's out of your reach, if 50,000, a man that's making $50K annually is not what you want, don't down that man, a man that's making $50K just because that's not what you want. That's not your preference. Set your preference high and keep it to yourself. You ain't got to knock people. Yeah, that's what that's why dating apps have filters. Oh, I want this, I want that. And then the people can pick you based on what you want, right?
Precisely.
Yeah, so don't knock down another man what he makes just because that's not your preference. It makes no sense. Another thing I want to hit on. 10, 20 years ago, women used to complain about dudes on their game all the time and not working. Now we progress to the point where people are actually working and doing their thing, and you complain about us working now. Yeah. It's like a brother can't do anything.
Right. And that takes me back to where, in our absence, in our little break that we took from the podcast, we talked, and then we had a little bit of a discussion about how we're going to go forth with this podcast. And for me, I think that a lot of the negative things can come out of my mouth about this, but at the end of the day, it's more or less not about attacking the women. I would like to just encourage you men that are tuning in and listening. There are women out here that don't see you that way. it's not fair, it's not cool, it's not right, it's not just. And like I said, in all actuality, this lady sounds like she doesn't even know what jobs pay or what the cost of living is right now, which would indicate to me she don't even work.
Or she just is not in tune with things, and she makes enough money where she's comfortable and she don't need a man. And most women nowadays in these days feel like they don't need a man, right? Because of that whole independence piece. So most women are independently making good money themselves. And so they feel like if a man is not on that level, then they don't want to mess with him. You know, and I'm not arguing against that, but I just think it's the wrong ideology. And not only that, let's think about, she used the word courtship. She said, if you want to court a woman, first off, the principle of courtship comes from a biblical standpoint. So if this woman is coming and she's a spiritual woman and she's talking like that, yeah, you have your standards, but who are you to knock down another man? The man is the head. So obviously if you don't want a head, you don't want the guy who's leading your home to make $50K. That's cool, and you have your preference. But don't knock a man down from what he...
Or a woman who will be happy to choose. So for me, the more money I make per year, the less money the man who's going to be my partner needs to make.
Right.
That's the way my math works. It's a we problem in my head. Not problem, but it's a we scenario. So I'm never thinking like, I need a man who makes this much money, that much money, that much money, and it increases as it's like, oh, okay, I'm coming up here, you know, really like it. At the end of the day, it's what does the household make? And I know that's jumping from dating to relationships, but
that's where dating goes.
Yeah, that's where dating goes.
And she brought up the whole point of courting. So courting is leading to marriage.
Yeah.
So it's friendship, courtship, and then marriage.
And I'm just gonna say this as a husband, any husband. You know, biblically and morally and otherwise, the amount of money he makes is irrelevant. If he says, hey, listen, I need you to go to work tomorrow.
Right.
That's what you need to do.
Right.
So if he makes $50,000 and he says, I need you to go to work every day so that you can bring in 30, 40, 50 also.
Well, with all due respect, in the process of friendship and courtship, you guys established that in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? This is what's going to happen in times like this and times like this, or if this happened. That's what partnership is about. You come together, you make a plan together, and so the future can be easier because you guys have a plan going into the future. And that's what it's about. Like, most people are not thinking like that anymore.
No, the women are thinking, what can a man give to me? The men, I feel like, you can correct me because you're a man, are just figuring out how to survive in the dating world. I don't even know if they can know where to go from here because.
Well, I mean, it's hard. It's definitely hard. There's so many options, so many distractions on top of your everyday stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, and nobody really wants to be alone at the end of the day. Let's be real. Like a man and a woman, nobody wants to be alone. Everybody wants someone to come home to. Everybody wants someone to love them and someone to
be there,
to love.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, those are the bases. So it's like, how do we get past this? Men and women, we asking you this question. How do we get past fighting amongst each other, knocking each other down, having all these high expectations? And these expectations keeps us from each other. It keeps us from connecting. And as long as we got the internet saying this and that and setting these high standards and high expectations, we'll never come together, men and women. And I think this is, and I'm a spiritual person, so I do believe in the Bible in its entirety. You know, I'm not a religious, knocked out person, but I do know that the Bible had also prophesied about relationships and marriage and people, how marriage is just willy-nilly and relationships is not a thing in these last days.
Well, yeah, I mean, finances seem to be the main focus as far as in dating and how you go, which has always been look, I've said it a million times. I've been in a room with a man who has millions, and I've been in a room with a man who has nothing. And the man who had millions, energy was all about entitlement. He felt like I was supposed to be there with him. I owed him something because he was wealthy, and he could talk to me any way he wants. The other man, respectful, glad to be in my company. You know what I'm saying? So there's a whole different energy. How do you connect with a man if all you're searching for is his wallet?
Yeah, and and with all due respect, you can't court someone if you're going in based on what he makes and you're focusing on his pocketbook and not his heart, and so that right there is just, it's one of those things where, what are you trying to build your foundation on? You trying to build it on finances and money, or you want to build it on love? Like, you know what I mean?
And honestly, the foundation of any relationship should be friendship.
Yeah.
100%. And
But it starts with love.
Yeah, it starts with love. Yeah. And I'll tell you right now, I've never had a requirement for how much money my friends make to be my friends.
Yeah, and I tell you, the more and more I think about it, we're living in a loveless world. Like, people are so quick to hate. They're so quick to knock each other down and bash each other. It's crazy. Now, again, like she said in the beginning of this podcast, we're not here to bash anyone, but I just feel like there needs to be a coming together. Like, and we know for a fact, I know that men are not perfect. Shoot, I had to learn from etiquette, the things I should and shouldn't do when it's pertaining to women.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the thing that's missing when we start having these super heavy conversations about the requirements financially and appearance-wise and all of that. There's a whole, and even just as friends, you and I can definitely give a testimony on this. There's a whole bunch of other things that first have to work before we should even be worrying about how much money a man makes.
Right.
Like how are you guys going to get along on a day-to-day basis? What, are the differences that you have something that you can work with and celebrate, or are they glaringly different? Like, there's so many other things that need to take place before we get here. So what happened to where we're talking about money and look, I don't even want to waste your time. I don't want to waste the time to put on a nice dress and some heels and all that makeup and all that fake stuff to go to this expected date that I have with you where you take me to a 5-star restaurant and, a 5-star hotel and we got to travel and all this other. I don't even want to take that effort until I know it's going to work. Or there's some indication that we could turn into something later.
I just want to give big ups to all the kings out there. I've seen a lot of videos in respect to this, where guys are just walking out of dates now. The female come, and if you straight off the bat, you treat them like you meet them. If she's coming right off the bat talking about money, she's not interested in you. If she's coming straight off the bat talking about sex, you already know what it's about. Like, women pretty much tell you, just like men, we kind of give us signs off of what we want in the beginning. If it's faulty in the beginning, you have that right to get up and walk away, right? You don't have to sign up for something that you're not into or you're not interested in. So, I mean, big up to the guys and the women who are walking away from these situations and just being real. We need more real people out here so that people can know what your expectations are right up front. You ain't got to lie. Listen, this is what's up. Now, there's nothing wrong with telling me, look, I'm about that money, right? Then I know I can't build a future with you because it's not going to be a future of love. It's going to be a future of you expecting me to pay for everything.
Yeah.
And I'm not with that.
Yeah. Or so I had a really good point and I kind of forgot it. Oh, what I was going to say is if a female like this, and a lot of them that I've seen, a lot of the women who have this mentality that I've seen on these videos and whatnot, they're very mouthy, very snotty, very pushy, very attitudey, okay? That's not even an attractive quality. I think when a man puts a lot of money out to go down and to sit down, not to go down, to sit down and have a meal with a woman,
Whoa, Nelly.
Does he want to be met with that? I mean, because we've seen the attitude. And I'm just going to say this. If a woman can bully you into a super expensive first date, she will bully you into everything else
for the rest of your life.
Like, I don't like a man. For me personally, and this is for all you men, I'm not the only one out here. I don't like a man that's easy to push around. You got to have a spine.
Yeah, stand up for yourself, man.
Yeah.
Same thing with women. Men want women that know what they want, and that's just really honest. And, loving and respectful about it, but honest enough to be, I've been on dates with women like, hey, look, this is what I want. And I'm like, oh, cool. I can respect that. Yeah. You know what I mean? I know what it is straight from the gate. Yeah. So if I know what it is from the gate, then you know what? I know how to navigate this thing.
That's where we were talking about, like, what do you bring to the table? And I think that's why the women are so, not the women, I'm sorry, why many of the women that we're talking about, this group of women, is so against that what do you bring to the table question.
Right. They started the question.
Yeah. Yeah, and now they don't want to answer it.
Yeah, well, when it's reversed back, well, what you mean? What do I bring? This is supposed to be about what you bring to. No, this is me and you are both on this date. If you ask me what I bring, what the hell you bring? You know what I'm saying?
And I just want to put this out there.
A pretty face and a fake BBL and some and a little status on Instagram and Facebook and all that, and TikTok ain't gonna impress me enough. Yeah, I need to know what you really bring to the table. What's your heart like? What that heart game like? I was about to say that mouth game, but yeah, I don't know what impressive. That is. You said it earlier. No, I'm just kidding.
My mouth and my no. We're not gonna say that. I'll end up with stalkers. But yeah, that's the thing is like, and I guess like we're open to suggestions on how to change it. One thing I was going to say is, and Seneca brought this up in a conversation a couple of nights ago. Well, women are maybe acting this way because, back in the 80s, we watched a movie, and it was an 80s environment. So the men were very, antagonistic, very, I don't want to say disrespectful, but very
open,
undermining towards the women. And so Seneca said, this is probably why women are this way today, because look what they had to go through. I can accept some of that.
Yeah.
But by the same note, it's like I've been through the same shit as a woman. Mm-hmm. And it never made me want to disrespect a man. For me, respect should be the core of anything. Dudes, if you're going out on a date with a woman and she is talking to you like these women in these videos, that means that she doesn't have the same consideration for you that you have for her. Respect is literally based off of mutual consideration. So a woman like that, you're never going to get respect from her.
Mm-hmm. But, interestingly enough, since we're talking about these trends and videos, there's some YouTubers I've been paying attention to, and a lot of these YouTubers are doing the honesty test with these couples. Mm-hmm. And we're starting to see that there's a flux. Remember, it was a lot of men cheating. Now it's women cheating.
Oh, yeah.
Like crazy.
The women have been cheating.
And they don't want to show that. Remember, it was an issue back in the day. If a man don't show you his phone, then that's a problem. Now the women don't want to show that guy's phone. It's like the tables have turned.
Listen, I've been a woman my whole life. Not that I have a problem with anybody who hasn't, but I've been a woman my whole life.
Make that clear.
Yeah,
please.
making that clear. I've been
no disrespect to anybody.
My entire life. And I'm going to tell you something. I know a lot of women and I know a lot of men. And this goes from the 80s all the way until today. I know far more women, and that comes from when I was young all the way till now, that are cheaters.
Better cheaters than
back
men.
Then,
better
and
than
cheating
men.
Now.
Better cheaters than men.
Yeah, now they're just open about it.
Yeah, now they're open. Before they would take it to the grave, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and so we can say men used to treat women shitty.
Yeah.
And so, but at the end of the day,
yeah, but I'm looking on these videos, and it's not just cheating. These women are sleeping with the dude's best friends, and I'm like, man, what is? And then mamas sleeping with their daughters' boyfriends.
Somebody.
This stuff is starting to get intense.
This is why Jezebel has everybody in the chokehold. This is literally.
You got to clarify that for people who don't know Jezebel.
Jezebel.
That is the sin that did Jezebel. That's Lauryn Hill lyric, by the way. We don't own the rights to that music, but Lauryn Hill, she broke it down.
She did.
Girl, you know you better watch out. Yeah, that's a good. All right, we squirreled.
We got squirrel, but no, seriously. Anyway, so we're just gonna skip past that. But you guys can look up Jezebel. It might probably do y'all some good to read the Bible. But at the end of the day, this is the problem, because the women are cheating more. Because look at the reasons the women are cheating choosing their men.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to cheat on a guy that you don't really feel connected to. You're just there for his money. Exactly.
Going back to the foundation, why we date in the very first place. Mm-hmm. And, this young lady used the word courtship so just like loosely. But then her intentions, and you can tell the intentions of her heart, is completely different. She's looking for a cash cow or someone equal to her. But what else is there? You know what I mean?
And the worst part of it is her justification. We didn't play that, but her justification was, okay, if you want to date and you make $50,000, go get you, and she used the word bitch, go get you a bottom of the barrel bitch that will date you while you make $50,000.
That right there tells me right off the bat her intentions is not even cool.
And so she's knocking a good woman, because a good woman will date you. But here's the thing. Her justification for that was saying that she'll leave you stagnant. She won't push you. You won't grow with her, blah, 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 blah. Which I know for a first-hand fact, that's not true. Right. You love a man and take good care of a man who makes $50,000, he's going to pour whatever you're pouring into him into work. It's
Right.
really like a pretty well functioning machine when everybody's doing their part. Relationships
Yeah,
are,
and but what
you know?
what happened to the concept that even if this man is making 50,000 and you're making 50, you put that 100, put that together, you got 100. Like, what happened to building an empire together? What happened to the partnerships? Women don't want to build a kingdom or empire anymore. Some women don't.
Yeah.
And so it's like, what happened to that part? What happened to that part? People don't believe in a happy ever after no more.
Well,
And some people would say, and some couples, men and women, both, or both, will say that there's no such thing as a happily ever after. When I think it is.
well, because
I'm gonna quote 50 Cent. He says I saw an interview. He was saying that you don't have to be rich and have money to be happy. He said, I know some people who are poor and having a time and still having a time in their life and are good and happy and very happy. This is a man who went from from poor to rich.
happier because we don't.
Yeah,
have to
he said
look
I know
outside
some
ourselves for
poor
that.
people that's even happier.
Yeah, I'm happier when I don't have a bunch of money. I'm happy when I have money to go blow. We can have fun. But anybody who knows me, I'm happy no matter what we're doing.
Yeah.
I'm happy at home doing nothing. I'm happy at, taking walks. I'm happy wherever I'm going, but happy relationships. And that's another thing. I think maybe a part of what started this is social media and the internet, because, we have all these big ideas about perfect relationships and okay? But perfect relationships don't start off perfect ever. There's a honeymoon phase, but even those aren't really perfect.
Right.
And you've said it too. Like, I don't want to fight with nobody. I just want it to be easy, smooth sailing. Well, that is 100% impossible. It's impossible.
Well, yeah, there will be disagreements.
You gotta have, and in the beginning more so than anything, because you're two people learning how to bring two worlds together.
Right.
This day and age, two families together.
Right.
Two incomes. Well, maybe some of these women don't want to work.
Right.
Are you? Maybe that's what changed. I mean, maybe that's what changed some things. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But you can't have a partnership with a me attitude, and a lot of these women have a me attitude.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, look at where we're at, and you just said it. You said it before. Social media, and all these trends and things that we follow. They want to be like what they see on the TV.
Yeah.
And these women who are doing these things that they're following, they have high discipline, and they're doing it for a reason, because they have to keep those follows up.
Yeah.
They got to keep presenting this lifestyle so for people to, and everybody wants that. They want that big. They got a dream. They got a goal. But those goals are not their own. They're going after someone else's goals.
Well, that's another thing. I have I have a lot, very deep opinions on social media and how it really has made it so that people don't think for themselves. I feel like I could ask any woman today, I'd say between her 23 and 27, why do you need a man to make this much money? And she will have no idea why she has the expectations that she has. They're borrowed.
Right.
Nobody's thinking for themselves.
Yeah.
No one's really thinking for themselves. They're trying to keep up. And I'm sorry, but I learned in like 5th grade that everything that you saw on a screen was pretty much fake.
The Matrix has them.
Yeah.
The Matrix has them. I quote that because Andrew Tate, a lot of people don't like him, but I listen to a lot of his stuff. Yeah, he can be a little egomaniac every once in a while, but he really gets the idea and the concept of what it's like to be a man and to own that and not look to anybody for handouts, not look to anybody for anything, but own being a man and hold down his household, hold down the relationship, and let that woman know that she's loved and he's going to be the captain of the ship. So that's what I respect about Andrew Tate. The dude is solid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Big ups to Andrew Tate. You know what I'm saying? One of these days we're going to meet, bro. Sit down and have a powwow. You know what I mean?
I feel like as a woman, you're at my husband or my boyfriend or whoever, his desire to go make more money and to make, and to give more to me and give more to the household would come more likely from my desire to build him up and encourage him and support him and push him in a positive manner than my expectations of what he can do for me. And that's what this woman, that's her comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want his money, I'm going to let him be stagnant. But she has high expectations, and she has high taste and blah, 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 expensive taste. So she's going to push him. Yeah, she's going to push him. She's going to push him to work. So I'm going to let you speak on that. As someone who in your former relationship had to work multiple jobs to keep somebody happy.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to let you speak on that.
No, because I might start crying. It hurts.
It's
to
okay.
talk about
You
it.
can put your head on my
It really
shoulder.
hurt to me.
Put your head in my bosom.
No. I'm not going to put my head by your titties.
Why?
That's a bad idea. Anyway.
It's a great idea.
No, shut up. Don't
Maybe
do
not
that.
for you.
All right, we're coming to the 30-minute mark. So we're going to end this at the 30-minute mark. But she is right. Coming from a person that has been married and had to do that, had to bust his ass to provide for not only my 4 kids, but another, that's 8 kids altogether.
Yeah.
And it was a struggle.
And would it have
But
been...
my love for her and love for those kids and my own kept me doing it. You know, there was times where I was contemplating suicide because I just didn't feel love. I didn't feel the love.
Key,
you know
right
what I mean?
there. So now, if she was pushing you and she had say she had all those expectations and all of that, and you had all those kids, but instead of demanding from you, she was telling you, "Hey, I believe in you. I know you can do this. I know you can do that." She sees you happy at work. She's got suggestions on something unhappy at work. She can suggest a different route.
But that wasn't the case. And
No, I know. So I'm saying,
but let me finish. I just feel like I didn't notice it in the beginning because we all have these set situations when we go into our relationship. We have this ideal of what we want and what we wanted at the time. And we both had our selfish reasons. I was more in the flesh and she was more in my pocket, you know, and so we both got lost in that. And so lost in translation. So we never really came together.
never thought about those things.
Yeah, we never thought about those things. We never came together. And that's how, like you said earlier, that's how easy it happens. That's how easy it happens. And so it ruined my ideal of what relationships and marriage is supposed to be like when I am, got this marriage for 10 years and it didn't pan out and I gave it my all. And so then I stopped believing in love and I stopped believing in partnership and women and what that looks like. And when for majority of your life, if you've been harmed by women, you look at them differently.
Yeah, for sure. And
You know
for
what I
sure.
mean? But it didn't stop me from giving them quality.
But do you
still.
think at any point she knew you were depressed?
She didn't care.
Okay.
You know?
So that's what we're doing to these men when we have those type of expectations. Hey, have the expectations.
Well, us men, we do it to the women too.
Hey, did she take care of you? Did she cook for you and clean for you? And do your laundry
she was.
And,
I mean, she
rub
was
your back and.
She was there here and there. You know, 10 years of that though. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be ups and downs. You know what I mean?
No.
I get it. It's gonna be those ups and downs.
As a wife, whether we're fighting or not, my job is still my job. When we're fighting, you still got to go to work and do your job. I still got to do my job too.
Well, I mean, let's not look at it as a job. It's not a job. I'm going to do my life. This is my life. You know, when you go to the altar, you say for sickness and health, the rich or poor, like I'm here. This is my wife is my life. This is not a job. This is my life. Yeah. I'm going to take care of myself.
That's the thing is you were looking at it that way.
I was looking. Look, you're my life. I'm looking at you. You're an extension of me. If I ain't right, you ain't right. If you ain't right, I ain't right. And that's just what it is.
Word.
That's what it is.
Word.
So you know what I mean? It's not a job. It's your life.
Yeah.
Protect that at all costs. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I like that. I like that.
Anyway, but yeah, we're getting close to the end in part. We want to thank you guys again for tuning in. Venus versus Mars and Jan. You know what I'm saying? And your boy Seneca. Don't say Sin.
Well,
I'm not into sinning. I'm not perfect, okay? No.
I'm not perfect, okay? You're not?
I'm not perfect.
I'm not perfect either.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yeah.
Venus and Mars, we appreciate all the support. We're going to keep trying to put these things out, man, and talk about some real issues out there. And, it is election season, guys. Make sure you get out there and vote. If you're looking for change, you got to be the change that's out there. Stand up and vote and do what you need to do.
Be the change you want to see. Also, hey, leave comments. You can leave comments here on the podcast. You can send Seneca or I voice messages. We can talk about the topics you want to talk about. I know there's some of you out there that have feedback you're waiting to give us. Go ahead and hit the button here and respond to this episode.
Thank you guys so
Thank
much
you.
again. Hope the sun's out here in Oregon, man. Hope y'all enjoying that sunshine out there wherever you are. Get some of that sun. You need that vitamin D. All right. Holla at your boy.
Oh, holla.